Yeah. Life. Life is the only thing we need. They need me to go, but I don't want to leave.
Welcome
to the iconic American Bully Visions podcast.
Fuck a pigeonhole, I'm a night owl, it's a different mode. I'ma have to make a paint of 6 on a pinky toe. Heard you with a shooting guard, just let a nigga know. I would have you courtside, not the middle row. All good love in a minute though. I can't stress about no bitch cause I'm a timid soul. Plus I'm cooking up ambition on the kitchen stove. Pot start to bubble, see the suds, that shit good to go. Whole sound suave, but I can't get me cold. Bro, think he John Wayne. I bought them Yellowstones, love the way they hang, babe. For the silicone, everybody fake now. You could crack the code, bust down everything. Set in rose gold, dread talking to you niggas like I'm J. Cole. I could tell her head good before I even know. Bitch, don't tell me that you model if you ain't been in vogue. Gotta throw a party for my day ones. They ain't in the studio, but they'll lay some. Rest in peace to Drama King, we was straight stunned. Y'all don't like the way I talk, niggas say something. Gotta throw a party for my day ones. Pull up and you know it's us, the bass jumping. Y'all don't like the way I talk and say something. My face, nigga. Gotta throw a party for my day ones. They ain't in the studio, but they'll lay some. Rest in peace to Drama King, we was straight stunned. If I let my nigga 21 tell it, you a pussy.
How's it going, guys? We're back with iconic American Bully Visions. Today we have a special guest. Why did I say today? Tonight we have a special guest with us. He's here from I.A.B.V, New Mexico. Been breeding for a bit. I've gotten to see quite a bit of his camp and what he has going on. But I'm going to let him introduce himself and let him give a little bit of info about himself to you.
So, my name is Bobby Morales. I'm from I.A.B.V, New Mexico. Our bully camp is hard-hitting bullies.
Yo, easy money, easy money, easy money, easy money, easy money, easy money. Heavy, cartel music. Look, easy money, we the most hated, you know. Nobody moving till I say so. Heavy hitters on the front line, dead game. I got the juice, I don't play the...
So what we been breeding for about 7 years now, roughly around 7 years. What we have in our camp for the most part is a lot of exotic blood. We are working on getting some more clean blood in the yard to mix with the exotic blood. What I work with the most is Bosachi blood. It's my vision. I like the Bosachi line. I like what Manuel Zamora has put together as far as creating his main hitters, which is Bosachi, Hitter, Beef, and them guys. So yeah, again, just been breeding for about 7 years now. We aren't where we want to be. We've learned a lot along the way as far as what to do and what not to do. We've made a lot of mishaps as far as breeding. We've done some breedings that we probably shouldn't have put together, but it was part of the learning experience as far as breeding.
All right, bro. So, man, I feel like one of my more kind of funny experiences with you has been whenever we bred that dog that your sister had, man.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it? I think it was crazy, man. I honestly have been doing AIs for a little bit, and man, I couldn't get this dude to get hard. For the life of me, I couldn't get him to get hard.
Yeah.
2 days. I went the second day, and I still couldn't get him to get hard. Bobby looked it up. I don't know what he did, but he got that little sucker to get hard, man. That thing was big.
Yeah, little dude was packing, man.
You serious?
Yeah, so one thing that I had watched on, because I keep up with a lot of people's posts on Facebook and everything that everybody does as far as dogs. It's a passion, something that I enjoy doing. So learning along the way, you know, me personally, I've never done no AIs myself. I've assisted people doing AIs or whatnot, but I've never pulled from a dog myself. But one of the posts that I had seen was somebody saying that that new breeders spend a lot of time playing with the dog in order to get him to produce. And so he says that it was unnecessary, that you really didn't have to do all that. You just had to be gentle with the dog, figure out where to grab him from and just hold him. So that's what we did that day. I looked it up on Google, decided, well, let me give it a try, and what do you know? I guess I got the magic hand, bro. You know what I mean? Dog did his thing, and he produced, so.
And he did, man. He gave some quality semen. Really cloudy. I was really impressed. I was like, man, this little thing holding that much. I was like, God dang. Let's get to the questions, bro. What style of bulls are you breeding right now, man?
So right now, really more exotic blood. One thing that I've learned as far as the dog game is that you can evolve with what's going on or stay breeding behind. One thing that I keep in mind a lot that gets me really shooting that direction is wanting to produce something that's extraordinary, something that's different, something that nobody else has produced. I know that's very hard within itself because we got a lot of people out there producing all kinds of different crazy stuff. We got fluffy Frenchies now. We got a lot of different type of dogs. More of the exotic blood, due to the fact that I always think about how a bully was first created, right? Mm-hmm. And so it stays in my mind, like, surely we didn't create a pit bull to a pit bull and created a bully. Mm-hmm. It's just it's not possible, that you can do that. So a lot of times I know that there's a clean, functional bully. I believe that's more of where we're headed, but in order to get there, we want to mix that real heavy exotic blood with something very clean in order to break them down, make them small, keep them to where they're active, full tail, big head. We haven't got there, man. Like I said, there's a lot of learning experiences that we've had to go through. Breeding, one of the main things that I keep in mind when I first started breeding was one of my friends, every time I told him that I was putting a breeding together, he would laugh and he would tell me that I was moonwalking. He said, "You're moonwalking, man." I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Yeah, man, you're doing like Michael Jackson. You're going backwards instead of forward." And I tell him, "Nah, man, look, man, this is gonna hit. This is gonna hit." And every time I'd breed a dog or something, they'd come out funny looking, kind of linky, and he would like, "Man, I told you, bro, you're moonwalking." And I never got it, man, but he would tell me all the time. And that's my boy Carlos Lucio. One of the main things I want to do is give a shout out to all the breeders here in Hobbs, New Mexico, including yourself, Miguel.
Thank you.
There's a lot of breeders along the way that have taught me a lot of things that I learned from, though they really don't know, but including Jose Arduarte. The very first time I did a breeding, I had a female. She was more of a pit bull looking blue female, and Jose came over. I didn't know who he was. He introduced himself, met him, and I couldn't get my dog to latch on to her. So Jose says, I got my boy Boston in the back. We can make this happen, and I'll get him to latch on. So I told him to give it a shot. Within 2 minutes, he was already tied onto her. And she was just a regular pocket pit. She looked like a pocket-sized pit bull. So then Jose began to give me the rundown on the breeding game. He was the first one that gave me the rundown. He started telling me, he says, "Man, you're feeding these dogs all year long. After feeding them and you have a litter, you're going to turn around and make a couple $100. That's barely going to make the dog food back." He says, if you're into breeding and you really want to make an investment, he goes, "Get you a dog, a female that's papered." And I took his advice, and from there, I got rid of my female and got me a papered female. Just began breeding, man. So I'd give out Jose a shout out. Him, Daniel Jurado. Daniel was one of the main ones that would always do my AIs. Helped me with at least 7 litters, man. So he was a big part of me breeding as well. Roger Tarango, he was the first one that actually showed love as far as giving me a stud that to me was a name stud, and that was my boy King. He was a little micro with a full tail. He was real nice, man. He was the face for our program. Ruben Lujan from Roswell, he's an older breeder as well. Ruben Lujan, when he found out that I was breeding, we got to know each other, and one day he just called me up and said, "Hey, man, you really got a vision for it?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "I'll tell you what, man." He says, "God just told me to give you all my dogs. So it kind of tripped me out. He invited me to his house in Roswell. I picked up all his kennels, picked up all his dogs, and he blessed my program. And from there, we kept breeding, and I believe that's around the time when I was moonwalking, just trying to make something happen, just trying to breed dogs, But through it, I've learned a lot. And I've changed the mindset as far as breeding, to where we're never in competition with nobody. Even if they're from out of town, I look at everybody's dog, tip my hat off to everyone that's breeding, man. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of want. You got to get home every day. You got to pick up after your dogs. You got to clean their poop. You got to clean their bowls. You got to feed them, water them. So you got to really have a passion for it, man. So me just knowing that it's hard to be competitive with anybody, because I know that it actually takes a lot of heart, a lot of desire to do what we do, man. To breed. And
man, you touched on some good subjects there,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
You did,
yeah,
man.
So
And he's right. A lot of people just see the glimpses of whenever we post the dogs and think, oh man, they got some badass dogs, or they're making a lick out of that, and sometimes it's not even that way, bro. Like he says it, like we have to come right after work sometimes, or before in the morning, pick up after our dogs, feed, water, get all that done, before the day, or before the day, or before the day ends, and that's right. As far as your exotic program, are you breeding towards structure, or how's that, bro?
okay, so as far as the exotic, yes, man. Before we were just breeding just to breed, I know that's something that a lot of people aren't too honest about, but I'll be honest, man. As of now, we actually got a vision. The vision that we have right now is structure. We're looking at the top line on the dogs. We're looking at the full tail. We're looking at the big head, wide shoulders. We want to break them down, shorten them down. So yeah, structure right now, it's actually the vision. How long it's gonna take us to get there, I don't know, but we got a lot of upcoming studs right now in the program. A lot of people have been asking why we're picking up so many males, and I'll be honest with you, man. I really feel me and my partner, the only partner that I consider as a partner, he's in prison. He's behind walls right now. But he's my dog partner. From in there, he tells me what he visions, and we put our mind together on what we want to do. So right now, we're looking towards making something small, compact, with a nice top line, full tail, big head. We don't have that in our program right now. We got one or the other, but we don't have that complete dog in our yard right now, and that's what we're shooting for. Something like that dog Kobe. Yeah, something like that dog Kobe, man. Kobe is a very nice complete dog, and we're investing in the program, and the main reason why we're doing all the investing that we're doing, and we're grabbing different studs, is because eventually we want to combine them, and we know that it isn't just going to come from breeding our only female to our only male. It's not going to happen that way. So we're getting different blood from different yards, and we're picking it up, and hopefully within a couple of years we'll be able to put together what we're looking at.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. On the second question, from where you began, how has your bully program evolved from the beginning to what you have going on right now?
Wow. So I believe we touched on that a little bit just now. So one of the main things that I keep in mind, as far as the word evolve, right? Something that I learned from one of the dog breeders, man. He says, if we keep a Coca-Cola on the shelf, and then we keep a Pepsi on the shelf, and one you can't keep enough of, right? And then you get there and your Pepsi's on the shelf every day and it never sells. He says to evolve, with the dog game. So me catching that from him and learning that from him, how has my dog game evolved as of now? I had to learn to quit moonwalking. I had to learn to quit breathing backwards, and I kept it in my mind that every next move has to be a major move. And again, that takes having to step out of my yard and not just focusing on the dog that I have today, my main stud, but having to step out of my yard and pick different blood from different yards and bring it into my camp. I believe it's evolved a lot. It's evolved a lot, man. Before, I would get a smaller dog and I'd breed it with a bigger dog, and I would say, man, I'm gonna breed some fire and it's gonna hit, and never hit, and never hit. Or I would do the opposite, and I would think that it was gonna hit and it would never hit. So it's evolved as far as making sure that whatever we put together, it's actually gonna complement itself. It's gonna complement one another. So never to put a male with a female that's not gonna complement each other. You know, don't put a tall female with a short, you know, male that's too short, because you may get a lot of linky dogs, you know.
Yeah.
So making sure, just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with tall dogs. There's nothing wrong with short dogs. There's nothing wrong with standards, you know. But if you breed a standard, breed it to another standard, you know. If you breed if you are going to change the difference as far as pocket and micro and exotic, you know, them three right there, they combine real nice together. But make sure you keep it short, you know. So as far as how it's evolved, man, we've learned a lot along the way as far as what to do and what not to do.
Hell yeah. And throughout your transition from whenever you started breeding, whenever you had mentioned you were breeding to Jose Aldrete's dog OG, which OG was badass, bro.
Yeah.
I seen that boy went through pictures and he was really nice. As far as breeding, bro, what do you have planned to hit New Mexico? Do you have any breedings coming soon that you haven't mentioned? Or?
Yes. So right now, our one of the main studs that we're bringing to Hobbs, New Mexico is going to be a big 30 son. The breedings that are taking place right now, we do have a litter that may be dropping tomorrow, and it's outside the camp, but it's going to be 8 times bait with 4 time Bosachi, which will be my stud, Mr. TikTok.
Yeah, young Metro, don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Hammer time, they can't touch me, hammer time. Hammer time, they can't touch me, hammer time. Bedtime, I ain't never had a bedtime. Headline, boy, you looking at a headline. Hammer time, they can't touch me, hammer time. Hammer time, they can't touch me, hammer time.
A litter off of him, and we've shared it. We've shared it a couple times, but we want to make sure that everything comes out promising, and hoping that I'm able to pick my next stud off that. Again, we do have a big 30 son coming. He'll be here by Monday. He's a pup. He's off of Big 30. Big 30's a 3-time Veneno. Yeah, we're shout out to Jeremy Vaughn for allowing me to pick that boy up, and to the stud owner of Big 30, man. Them boys right there, they're producing some fire, man. They're actually they're creating some bulls, man, that have massive arms that are extreme micros, you know, and that's the vision, man. Something, you know, big thick arms, you know, big shoulders, wide rear, but real little. We want to keep them real little and real functional. So yeah, that's and what we do got in the cut, as far as what you've already seen, we got 2 other studs that come off of Little Crazy, off of Robert Perez's boy.
God damn.
They're something amazing, man. So we got 2 sons off of Little Crazy. Them puppies right there themselves are 8 times bait dogs, man. So man, we got some studs that we're just we're keeping our fingers crossed on, and we know that we're going to be able to put them back into the program and create something crazy, man. Like I shared earlier, I believe that in order to create something crazy, you got to breed to something crazy. Yeah. If you want to breed something normal, normality, you breed to something normal. But if you want something extraordinary, you got to be able to vision it and say, man, I'm gonna take this chance and I'm gonna create something extraordinary. You mean?
Yeah, and you're right about that. It's not always bad to step outside the box, you know,
Yeah.
and do something different. You know, it's always good to be different. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. So as far as even with that, I mean, our main stud right now, Mr. TikTok, off of Manuel Zamora's boy Beef. that boy right there, whenever I got the chance to grab that boy, I picked him up off of Isaac from Lubbock, Texas. I had seen that puppy at one of the Lubbock shows at a USBR show, and I remember when Isaac walked in with them puppies. It was different. I've seen a lot of dogs there, a lot of puppies, but when Isaac walked in with that specific puppies, man, that litter, I seen him carrying it around, and the first thing I walked up to him and asked him if anything was for sale, and he told me at the time that nothing was for sale, and I remember my wife was like, "Man, those are some bad puppies," and so through that, I caught COVID, and when I went through COVID, I had to go through a state of having to get rid of all my dogs or most of my yard because I wasn't able to care for them. My daughter was taking care of all my dogs, and I felt that it was wrong for her to have to do it. So something of what I wanted to produce, which was King's blood in my yard. It was crazy because I had 2 different litters off of King at the time, and I wasn't able to take care of them puppies. So even them puppies, I had to sell them and get rid of them, scot cheap, just to get them out of my yard, man, because I couldn't take care of them. And it's what I always wanted, was King's blood in my yard. So through COVID, I ended up just keeping one little female, and her name's Diamond. I kept Diamond off of King. That's his only daughter that I have. And so through that, man, I got rid of all my dogs, and somebody was looking for a stud, and he hit me up. I put it on Facebook, and what do you know? Isaac hit me up, and he says, "Hey, man, you remember them puppies you seen at the USBR show?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "One of them boys is for sale," and I remember at the time, I was like, "Man, I don't even know if I want to let this dude pick up this stud." I was like, "Man, it's the one I wanted." So, but I believe in doing everything righteous and doing everything right, man. So I hit the dude up. I said, "Man, somebody just hit me up with a bad stud, man." I said, "You'd be crazy if you don't get it." And last minute, he pulled out, says, "My wife won't let me spend that money on him." And I said, "Okay." I said, "My wife will." So I got excited, man. I called Isaac. I said, "Man, I want that boy, man." And I got to pick up Mr. TikTok off of Isaac. He's a 4-time Bosachi son, and man, he's different. He's got ropes all over his face. He got ropes all the way down to his socks.
She looking for. I represent the H at the bottom of the map, and I was born and raised in the bottom of the trap. The number one rule is you gotta stay strapped, cause any given minute you can take that long nap. I roll with gorillas, killers and the killers, cause when I'm on stage, that's the only fool spillers. Real trill niggas, let me see your hands. I do this for the streets, I ain't trying to make you dance. Roll so low.
We did a TikTok off of him. His name was originally Mr. Grumps. We did a TikTok off of him, and he went viral.
How much was it? How much was it?
They gave it to me.
So you're not going to tell me how much was it?
Okay, they gave it to me.
I don't believe you.
Why?
How are they going to give you something like that?
They gave this. They gave it. They were like, "Hey." I was like, "Okay, yeah." They gave it to me. No me costó
No,
nada.
they didn't.
No me costó nada.
Just tell me how much was it.
Que yo no pagué nada. It's like
Tuviste que haber pagado cash porque en la tarjeta no sale.
it's like $30.
On TikTok, and when he went viral, a couple other breeders that I would go live with, they said, "Man, you should change his name to Mr. TikTok." And again, I'm always open for advice, even criticism, whatever it may be. I'm always open to learn. And so they told me, they said, "Man, he went viral on TikTok, name him Mr. TikTok." So that's what we did. So we changed his name to Mr. TikTok, aka Mr. Grumps, and he's different, man. He has ropes all over his body, and I actually believe that he's the key to our program. We're waiting to produce something off of him.
Boy's bad.
Boy's crazy, man.
Boy is one bad dude.
So we did have a litter off him, man. We had a litter off of him. I believe I caught what happened, what I did wrong. I've never lost a litter, but at that time I lost the whole litter, man. I lost the whole litter, and I got real discouraged. And what's crazy about that, because, breeding, we have our ups and downs, man. We go through things, right? So I remember I lost that whole litter, and it was so discouraging that I said, "You know what? My whole camp's up for sale," and everybody was laughing and inboxing me. people wanted to buy them, man. They wanted to buy them. I have my banner made of Mr. TikTok and everything, you know. So that right away they hit me up and they're like, man, we'll buy them cash, man. We want them if you're selling them. And so I agreed to sell them. And at the last minute, I got cold feet. One of my friends, which is Philip Juarez, I got a female off of him, off that Paletero daughter that he bred as well. She's one of our females that we're putting back into the program. She's real nice, real structured, muscled up, tight skin. But anyhow, Philip was going to pick up Mr. Grumps. And when Philip was going to pick him up, he kept hitting me up. And one of his boys was going to get him. And they said, man, we got cash in hand. And I got cold feet, man. I couldn't sell them. And Philip said, man, you sorry, man. I said, man, bro, I'm sorry, bro. I lost the whole litter. I started going through my ups and downs. But, nah, that boy's not for sale. And I'm thankful that I didn't sell him, man. I'd have kicked myself in the tail, man.
Man, you go through those times that are really, really discouraging. You're right about that.
Yeah. But I believe that I caught what I did wrong in that litter. Again, I've never lost the litter. We've produced a lot of puppies, man. Just learning along the way, we've produced a lot of pups, man. But on that one, I believe that I learned. I know what I did wrong. I'll speak about it a little bit. I treat my dogs with ivermectin. You know, if they have like any type of bacteria inside of them, it's an old trick that I learned from one of the guys, man. And if they have any type of pesticides or anything inside of them, I'll treat them with ivermectin. And not too long ago, I seen a post on Facebook, and I seen these two dogs that tied up, and it was an accidental, and it was a real nice bully with a mutt, and they were tied up, you know, and the dude was asking for advice, and I seen everybody put on there, hit her with ivermectin, give her ivermectin, and it'll get rid of all the puppies. And when I read that post, man, it really broke my heart because I realized that I had been treating Mr. Grumps with ivermectin, you know, just to make sure he didn't have no pesticides in him. And through that time, when I bred him, I believe that it stayed into his blood and it got into the pups. And eventually the pups came out good, but eventually they faded away. And I believe that was a mistake that I made, but something we learned along the way.
Yeah, most definitely, man. You're right about that. It's just trial and error, you know what I mean?
Yes,
trial
sir.
and error. And if y'all haven't seen him yet, check him out, man. Mr. TikTok. Every time I go over to Bobby's, whenever I go to do an AI, he's with a happy face, ready to see me. He goes and gets by my leg. He knows when it's business.
He's like a real person, huh? He walks up there and just starts putting his paw on your leg and stuff like, yeah, hey, it's me, yeah. So,
give you that attention.
yeah, man. He's like a real person, man. And one of the main things that I want to do, man, I want to thank you for inviting me to come. I want to thank you and your partner for inviting me to do this interview with you guys. But I also like to just thank everybody that's helped me along the way. I like to stay humble. Like I said, I try never to compete, man. It's something that it's real hard for me in my heart. Well, as you know, I'm a man of God. I'm a minister and preaching the word of God. I just never try to compare myself to anyone else to try to make myself look better than anybody. So I don't know if that's part of what holds me back in the dog game, but I believe that all my prosperity and everything, everywhere that I've come, how far I've come, I believe that it all comes from the Lord, and I believe it's Him that's going to continue to get me where I need to go in the dog game. If that's what He has in plan, if He has that plan for me. One of the main things that I've learned is to never put nothing before God, not dogs, not money, not anything. So God is the one that supplies all my needs, man. One of the main things I'd like to do is I want to give a shout out to everyone that's helped me along the way. As I think about it, there's been a lot of different people, man. There's been a lot of people. Like I said, Jose Duarte is one of them. Daniel Jurado, Stilo from Stilo Bully Camp, Roger Tarango, Ruben Lujan. Along the way, you've come and you've begun to help me as well. So I thank you as well, brother. I mean, every little bit of help that I get, man, from all the breeders in town, I just like to acknowledge every one of them, man. Acknowledge you, acknowledge Joel Reese. He's doing a great thing in his camp as well, man. He's got a great foundation. He got a nice setup. So I thank Joel for everything that he's doing as well. Thank you as well, bro. So I just want to make sure that I give you guys a shout out, man. Let you guys know, man, that I want to make sure that we continue to just produce fire, man. Do something different. Work with one another and make it happen. I see a lot of dogs from a lot of different towns, a lot of different states, and I see these big name dogs just getting up there on the platform, man. And I believe that we can make it happen as well. A lot of times it's going to take for us to step out, though.
Yeah.
You know.
And now that you touched kind of on the subject that I was going to ask you a question, I'll go ahead and ask you now. As far as, making a bigger impact, me and Waylon were talking earlier. Waylon Marshall, I don't know if you know
Yes,
him.
I know Waylon.
Marshall Bully Candles, we were talking, and he's all like, man, bro, like, I really have that hunger to be the next Midwest. And Midwest is over there where they have all that Rocco, Brim, and all that. And
Yeah.
I'm all like, and it's possible, bro. It's possible. It just takes the unifying. What do you think is holding us back from actually achieving that goal of being the next big state?
Okay. What's holding us back, man? One of the things that's holding us back personally is the support. We need to bring that unity and support, with one another. One thing that I've learned, man, is it never takes from anyone to share somebody's stud, man, to share each other's stud, each other's dog. The main thing that's holding us back, just putting breedings together. We have to step out, anything that anybody else has, man, we should be able to create it ourselves. It takes a lot of willing to invest in something outside. I see a lot of big dog breeders, a lot of big dog names, including the owner of Kobe. Okay, we got Sensei from X-Stax. We got Mike Allen, I believe he's in Houston, man. He's creating little bitty bulls, man. Real functional, full tails. But them things are staying about 8 inches, bro. Something crazy, but in order to create something like that, we have to step out. We have to pull out of our pocket. Invest in that type of blood. We got a lot of different breeders with a lot of good blood, man. There's a guy in Odessa that has a Giaggi son, and I don't even think he's bred it yet. But because he's not a known face, he ain't had the opportunity to produce nothing off him. And that Giaggi son, man, he's chocolate. He's everything complete, man. We have to quit just, how can I say, breed into our homeboy. Not to take anything from our homeboy, not to take anything from the people around us. But in order to get that blood and create something crazy here in Hobbs and be the next top name, it's not going to happen with just breeding what we have in the backyard. It's not going to happen that way. Though we would want it to happen that way. I see people talking about functional and non-functional. When I think about functional and non-functional, I see it and I vision, what they're talking about as far as it being functional and non-functional. And again, I start to think about how a bully was created. And the only way that a bully was created, there's a story. I don't know how true it is because I wasn't there. But one thing that I can say, and I'm going to go ahead and do this, man, I'll give a shout out to Diego Garcia. We better turn our game up before Diego gets out here, because once he gets out here, Diego's the one that put everything together here in Hobbs as far as a dog game. As far as what I understand and what I know, there's a story that there was a bunch of guys in the backyard. Diego said if anybody has a bulldog and anybody has a pit bull, and he got the bulldog and he got the female pit, put them together, and he created a bully. So along the way, he learned what genetics to mix with what genetics to produce what he wanted to produce, and he produced that little dog Offset. Offset was complete as well. I mean, in order to turn it up, man, we really got to just not be afraid to try something different. I mean, we think about Dax, and all the stories that came behind that. Dax is on every pedigree. He's on every pedigree, man. We think about him. We think about everything how he was created, how he was put together, and you really put your mind to it. You think about it, man. We just can't be afraid to make the next move. Again, I believe that Mr. Grumps is one of the tools as far as in my program, and we're looking for the nice, complete, correct female with a full tail pocket, taking her to Mr. Grumps and seeing what we can create out of that. We just have to be willing to take that next step.
You're right, man. Definitely, you're right about that. A lot of times I feel like the mistake is not trying to work within each other and trying to go out of state, you know. And I'm not bashing anything because it's fine to go out of state.
Yeah.
You know, you're bringing back so your brothers in New Mexico can actually get something off of that, you know, and it's a blessing too. But I feel like instead of trying to compete with each other, let's mix the bloods and see what we get, you know.
And that's the main vision, and that's what me and my partner are talking about, man. That's what we're talking about. Shout out to Pedro Almendares. He's my dog partner, man. I'm sure that once he gets out of prison, he's gonna have his own camp. But as of right now, man, we're partners, and that's one of the main things that we talk about, man. Is that's the reason why we got all the studs that we got. To be honest with you, a lot of people ask, and that's the reason why we got the studs that we got. We've decided to step out, and I mean all our dogs, all our puppies, as you can see, Little Crazy, his pups are out of Texas. You know, Mr. Grumps is out of Texas. We got that Big 30 son coming. All our dogs, we've decided to just step out and bring what we believe is fire and bring it to Hobbs, you know, because in order for us to level up, it's going to take that, you know. And again, like you said, work with one another, you know, not to compete, not to say, well, I got a better yard than your yard or my dog's better than your dog. No, but we're actually grabbing all these studs and we're bringing them to Hobbs for that reason, because that's actually our vision. You know, we want to have one of them studs that's going to produce something crazy, phenomenal. You mean? And I believe we're on it. We're onto it right now.
Hell yeah, and he's right, man. And one of the things that I really admire on Bobby is the way he negotiates with his own people, and he's always said it. My New Mexico folk, they'll get a deal. Simple like that, and it's true. Yeah, and it is true, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see the guys that I look at some of the guys out of state, man, that are working together, and one thing that they do is, man, they support one another to the fullest, man. I can't even hate, man. I give a, you know, shout out to Texas, man. They do their thing, you know. Toby Santos, you know, all them guys, Tony Jacobs, you know, all them guys, man. Isaac, everybody. I mean, you see them guys pull up at a dog show, man, and them guys pull up together in a van, bro. You know, they all, you know, they're loaded. You know, they know how to support one another. You know, and they're not though they're competing, but they're not competitive towards one another from what we see. If they are at home, well, then I think that's something that they don't allow for us to see. You know, but I mean, it's nothing for them to share each other's posts. It's nothing for them to share each other's studs. You know, Big Bank off of Toby, Big Bank, man, he's made a big imprint in the dog game, and as he begins to share Big Bank, everybody shares him, you know, including myself. You know, Big Bank, he's a producer. But them guys truly know how to support one another and help each other out. You mean?
Yeah, and that's important. Support, and love, and especially whenever you have close folks around you that are doing the same thing that you're doing. And I can't stress it enough. You know, it's important to go to these meet and greets or these shows that are close to you, because at the end of the day, that's where you network. It's where your network is, and where you get to see what everybody has and how you can evolve your program from that. And I count myself accountable as to being competitive, because at one point I was really competitive and I felt like I had the hottest shit, you know what I mean? And it took me a bit to simmer down and actually captivate. Like, you gotta humble yourself. Yeah, you know, got the hottest shit, but I had the hottest shit in that 9-10 months it passed away, you know, and I felt like those were hard lessons learned where I had to say, you know what, let's approach it a different way, and I feel like it's working, and honestly, I got nothing but love for New Mexico, and I feel like we could do amazing things, but it just takes a whole village to do it. That's my thought.
Yeah, I believe New Mexico's on the rise, man. I see what everybody's doing, including your guys' podcast and everything that you guys are doing, man. I believe New Mexico is on the rise. You know, Philip Juarez, you know, from Las Cruces, he's really putting in work for New Mexico, bringing all the dog shows, putting all the dog shows together. Even the breedings that he's putting together, I got a female off him. You know, I believe New Mexico's on the rise, man. We just got to stay focused, man. Stay focused, and again, not be willing to take that chance, you know, to create something crazy, you know. Like I said, man, we really got to stay focused, man, as far as where we're headed, our vision, and not be afraid to take that chance. I mean, again, not to say that I got the hottest boy, you know, I won't say that, or I got the best boy. I'm not gonna say that. But Mr. TikTok, man, he's different, you know. Like I said, he got some ropes. A lot of people say he looks more like a bulldog. I'm sure he's loaded, you know, heavy loaded with bulldog blood in him, because again, exotic blood, bullies, and everything else come from bulldog blood, mixed with pit blood. And you know, I think about it. It's like let's say like this, man. I got a son. One of my sons looks like me. The other son looks like my brother. You know, I'm like, man, how do you look like my brother and my brother's son? You know, the blood eventually has to show up. You know, and I think with Mr. Grumps, that's what happened. You know, Beef looked the way Beef looks, and Bosachi looks the way he looks, and Grumps, you know, he came out with the genetic. You know, he might have came out with that heavy genetic, as far as looking more bulldogish. But again, we got to remember where it came from, where it started, and we got to be willing to take that chance, you know.
Right about that, and you touched a little bit of the subject on the question that's right here. And some people know how it got started, some may not, some have a clue. But what is your take on how the exotic breed started? We know how the American Bully started, but how did the exotic breed start?
Exotic breed. It started by doubling up, inbreeding. You know, let's say like Little Crazy's pups. You know, being 8 times bait, double up on that blood so much. Well, you see, that's the exotic blood. I believe it started. You know, breeding a bulldog, a direct bulldog. You know, small bulldog, the little mini bulldogs or something. I'm sure they got a little mini bulldog and bred it to a little bully, and then went back and forth and continued to breed it, you know. And along the way, they might have threw a Frenchie in there, or a Chiweenie or something. I don't know, but you know, they know where they're headed, man. And again, they took a chance.
Yeah.
One of the biggest breeders, man. I asked him one time. I said, man, what do you think if I breed this dog to a bulldog? And he says, do it. He says, that's the only way you're gonna get something different. He said, that's the only way you're gonna get a hitter, man. He goes, understand that every big dog name right now was crossbred somehow to a bulldog, you know. He says, if anybody says that it wasn't, they're lying. You know, you couldn't get a small pocket bully with another small pocket bully and create something exotic. You know, he says they had to have crossbred that, and then you got, who can we say, that little black dog, what's his name? Little exotic black dog, I forget his name, man. Anyhow, you got all these different people claiming that they're owners to a certain dog, or they created this dog, and this person's like, nah, I created it. See, what happened was they just did a lot of mixed breeding, man, and that's how they created exotic bloodline. You can't even find the original owners of it.
You're right about that. I feel like you're on that perfect path where you were saying how they were crossbreeding between each other. Bulldog, mini English bulldog, American Bully, maybe Frenchie.
You know, when I think about it, like, the main thing that I vision, because I like big dogs myself, you know, I like big dogs, man. Me and my family even thought about, you know, investing in getting an XL, you know. Thinking about XL, shout out to Jerry. He produces XLs, but anyhow, we thought about getting an XL, so I like big dogs myself. But when we think about dogs and how we, everybody got this vision, they want to put this mass on a dog, right? They want these dogs to have thick arms, or they want them to have big old arms, big old shoulders, you know. Oh, yeah. And then when you think about it, you're like, but how do you get there? And then they're like, I'm gonna breed this dog over here to my homeboy so and so, and man, we're gonna produce some fire. And then you look at homeboy's dog over there, and you're like, well, homeboy's dog looks just like your dog. You know, not to say your dog don't look nice, but his dog looks similar to your dog. How are you gonna get there? How are you gonna get that mass and put that mass on there? You got to be willing to take that step. You know, you got to be able to say, hey, they ain't gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. You know, and again, one of the biggest breeders, man, he told me, he says, understand that you aren't gonna do something that somebody else hasn't already done, but you can produce something fire, but you got to be willing to take that chance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Take chances. And that's all we could do is just take chances. Sometimes the biggest hitter come off of that chance. I know Stilo had a boy that was sold to my brother, and then my little brother ended up with him, Storm.
I have that blood in my yard right now.
Man, bro, that boy looked similar. Like, he had a look just like that Rocco blood.
Yeah.
You can see it in there. I'm just like, it's right, you know. There had to have been some bulldog or something exotic in there.
Yes, yes. Again, I got that blood in my yard right now. My female, she has some of Stilo's blood in her as well off his program. But yeah, man, just got to be willing to take that chance, man. I think about it, and like I said, I know that New Mexico's on its way up. I know without a doubt that we're on the rise. I can see it. It's in my mind. You know, as I'm seeing everything that's going on, taking place. You know, you shared a female off your yard the other day.
Veda.
Man, she's crazy. That female's crazy, man.
She's a little short little female, man. She's real nice, and it was honestly American Bully produced to another one, but she's small, man. I have to take her over to you so you can see her, man. And her mama too. I got some plans, but like you said, you know, sometimes you have to be willing to step out of what you normally have going on, and I may end up doing it. You may not know, but me and him know. You know, we got talks going, so there's something in the works, most definitely. As far as Busachi line, right?
Busachi line, yeah.
Busachi line. What other do you see yourself going outside your camp? Any further, like somewhere else? I know you just got that Big 30, son.
Yeah, so Big 30. I've been watching Jeremy Vaughn for a while, man, and everything, including his females. Jeremy Vaughn's females, man. Them females that he has in his yard are loaded, and they look just like males, man. They got big old domes, big old shoulders, and I've been looking at his page for a while and following him for a while, man. I'd hit his inbox here and there, asking him about a puppy, and he probably thought, man, this dude's a window shopping. He ain't never gonna grab a dog off me, right? But I kept following him, man, and then I seen that he bred over to Big 30, and I started looking at Big 30, and 30 comes off of Veneno. He's a 3-time Veneno son. So when I started to look at him, and I seen how loaded he was and how muscled up and small and full tail, big head, and like I said, we want to produce that. We want our females to look like our males, man. And the only way to get there is to step out. You know, of course, we're gonna mix the Busachi blood in there as well. But with that Busachi blood, we're gonna put that mass. I believe the Busachi blood, man. It's never, to me, from what I've seen, it's never a hit and miss, man. You always get something real nice, real thick out of it. So if we could get something real clean, like off that Big 30 son, and get a female, you know, with a full tail, already real massive, and we breed it over to the Busachi blood, I think that we'll get some nice thick little bulls, males and females. Tired of moonwalking. Yeah, tired of moonwalking, man. So everything that I do, man, it has to be a step forward. I don't want to step backwards. We did a lot, and I had a yard full of dogs that I couldn't get rid of, you know, and I had to start giving them away and everything else, you know, and we got tired of doing that. So we said, hey, in order to step up, it's going to take having to invest. It's going to take you have to invest in your program. You got to pull money out the pocket, man, and can't be afraid to do it, man. We only live once. We only got one life, and And the money that we're spending on these dogs, we're gonna spend it anyways.
Yeah.
We're gonna spend it anyways. I mean, if we got that passion for the dogs, we're gonna spend money on the dogs anyways. So if you're gonna spend the money, why not spend it right? You know, why not invest it right? You know, with what you got vision. You know, if you want massive bulls, invest in a massive bull. You know, bring it to Hobbs. You know, and create massive bulls. You know, so yeah, man. That's the main thing. Is just I thought about that before I came. You know, the truth is, you seen my video on my TikTok. You know,
Yeah.
where it says where I held Mr. TikTok and I'm like, they gave it to me. You know, and that's the way it really is. You know, my wife, she ain't always okay with what I'm doing as far as these dogs. But her and my kids are my biggest supporters, man. I couldn't whelp dogs without my family, my daughters and my wife. They helped me out a lot. If I didn't have them, I don't think I'd be breeding. But they've backed me up a lot. But a lot of times, they don't agree with what you're about to do, as far as dogs. But you got to know in your mind, you're going to spend the money anyways, on a dog. If you got the passion for a dog, you're going to be looking, you're going to end up investing in something else. So instead of investing $1,500 on this puppy over here, or $2,500 on this puppy over here, and another $2,500 on this pup over here, just hold your money, put it together, and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put 5 or 6 over here, and I'm gonna just grab this dog out my yard, from somebody else's camp and bring it to my yard, and have that blood and begin to produce off of it. That's our vision. That's why we got so many studs now. I guess after losing a whole litter, we do have females, but after losing a whole litter, we realized that we just want to focus more on having name studs.
So if you don't know, now you know. He has 2 little crazy pups. I've seen them in person. I even told him, hey, bro, what's it going to take to get that other dog? He's like,
So the little black dog that I was talking about a minute ago was Bolo.
Okay.
Bolo, man. A lot of people, you got a lot of different people saying, I created Bolo, this person created Bolo, and you got another person saying, man, they've been lying the whole time. I got the proof here. I'm the one that created Bolo, And the little black male that I got off a Little Crazy.
Double up, 3 or 4 times, I ain't telling no lies, I just run it up. Never let a hard time humble us. Double up, I ain't telling no lies, I ain't telling no lies, I just 5, 4.
He has a lot of. He looks like Bolo, man. He's crazy. He's an upcoming stud, man, and he's gonna be fire. I know he's gonna be fire. Him and his brother, the little blue one.
You can't stop, I'm on my way to the top. Top notch, whether you like it or not. Get a load of something you can't stop. I've been winning, checkmating and big spending. Been getting in your head spinning for 10 minutes. State to state hustling, they know that I've been in it. Money's like musica, bitch, I need 10 digits. I ain't stopping to the faithful, and I'm thankful for the bankroll that I made though. But I'm out here on my Range Rover, and I ain't waiting on the faithful to throw the ball up off the ankle. But I'm grateful for every time that they praise low. But I'm howdy, it's the rap the same way.
But so I'm hype about that. Of course, I won't ever stop being hype about Mr. TikTok himself, Mr. TikTok. So we got those little crazy pups, and then we got that big 30 son coming. So we hype about that, man.
They have Big 30 son. I've seen him already. He was kind enough to share a picture with me. Boy's bad to the bone. He got that paletero daughter.
Yep.
Another bad breezy, man. She's bad. And then he got none other than Mr. TikTok. And then he has those crazy pups. Like, if y'all are in looks for studs that are upcoming or that are available, y'all hit up Bobby Soldier for Christ Morales on Facebook.
Hold on, let's let them know, man. If you're in the Frenchie game, man, and you haven't seen seen Little KO in person, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. I know that a lot of people are chasing color, but if you haven't seen this boy in person, I mean, he's not no bigger than a shoebox. The little dude, small, compact, little bitty mini Frenchie, fat, healthy. You know, if you're breeding Frenchies, man, and you're jumping over him, hey, again, I don't ever try to give nobody the impression in making them breed to my dog. Make you a believer by making it happen myself, you know. So, but little KO, man, little KO, he's all there. He's a key as well to the Frenchie game.
I'm just sitting in the studio just trying to get to you, babe. But the song's so fucking dope, girl, it's hard enough for me to play. To tell the truth, the shit was you in this book that I was playing. So I'm just sitting in the studio just trying to get to you, babe. See, I've been in the studio just trying to get to you, baby. All night laying verses, though I'd rather lay with you, baby. Bro and panties matching nail and toes, you all kinda lady. Angel out of heaven, such a goddess, have a nigga praying.
I've seen little KO. He's small. Really small Frenchie. If you're in search of a Frenchie stud too, you know, hit him up. He also has that stud. He mentioned that he has litter from Mr. TikTok that's about to hit the ground. If y'all are interested in any puppies off of Mr. TikTok, which I don't know if they're gonna get rid of, because I mean it's gonna be a badass breeding. I've seen the female and well I've seen Mr. TikTok myself, you know, so it's gonna be something killers. If y'all have any questions regarding that breeding, y'all hit up Bobby Morales on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure they'll give y'all information whether they have any puppies for sale or not.
Okay, so you're actually the one that put the breeding together, man. I mean, you're the one that made it happen. You know, you did all the AIs on that. So thanks again, brother, for making it happen for us. So off that litter, as of we know right now, nothing will be for sale. Nothing will be for sale off Mr. TikTok. As of we know right now, I don't know what the future looks like, but the announcement that we have so far is that he will not be selling none of the puppies. But
I tried. I tried.
Yeah. So, the reason for it, we've had Mr. TikTok already for about 2 years. We've given a lot of people the opportunity to breed to him, you know, and I know that he's a producer. I mean, the puppies that he had that we lost, they were amazing, man. They were amazing little hogs, man. To breed a Mr. TikTok, you have to invest, man. You have to invest, and Layden won't be selling any pups off that litter.
I'm sorry, man. Maybe if y'all come with a big bag, they probably got something for sale. I tried.
Yeah.
I know they have that meet and greet. Are you gonna take Mr. TikTok out there, or one of your studs, or upcoming studs? Or
you know what?
females?
So the meet and greet. Are you talking about the one in Andrews?
Yeah.
With Bobby. Right now we got a lot of things going on as far as at home, like personal agendas.
Yeah.
As long as everything's in order at home, then yeah, we will be hitting that show. I don't know if I'll be taking out Mr. TikTok until we got enough production off of him on the ground. We're kind of sketchy about getting him outside of the house. We keep him inside and keep him in the air conditioner, man. We keep him living like a king. You know, don't want to take any chances of losing that boy. So, but if I do hit that show, that meet and greet, I believe that I'll be bringing that little female that I just picked up, that blue brindle. She's built like a male, and I'll be taking her out there just to show her off a little bit.
Hell yeah. Y'all heard it here, man. You might be hitting it up. Hopefully everything aligns itself, bro. You know, you're in our prayers, and hopefully everything gets better, bro. You know,
Yes, I appreciate you guys, man.
We're nearing the end, you know. If anything, remember March 18th, 2023, there is a bully meet and greet in Andrews, Texas. Bobby Hernandez from Illegal Amigo Bully Camps will be hosting it. I've seen the trophies. It's pretty nice. He has the first, second, and third. And then he has Best XL, Best Pocket, Best Exotic, Best Micro, and some other ones, man. And it's gonna be really nice to get out there and network with each other and talk to each other, mince some words. We will be grabbing interviews of everybody there, you know, just so y'all can give a shout out to the people that are viewing the YouTube channel. Bobby, I really appreciate you, bro, for coming out here and sitting down with us and talking and letting us know a little bit about your program, what you got going, and it means a lot, man, that you came out here to interview with us. As y'all know, he got Mr. TikTok. How much is Mr. TikTok up for stud, bro?
His stud fees $1K and one pup back right now. $1K and one pup back.
Alrighty. Do you have any like early bird lock-ins coming from those crazy pups?
As of right now, I don't. You know, the most craziest thing is that we have probably like 4 lock-ins off Mr. TikTok, and they're all out-of-staters, man. As soon as he went viral, people started locking them in, and they haven't came and got their breeding. But hey, I don't push nobody to do it. I don't want nobody to produce something crazy off him before I do. So if they're gonna keep their hands on themselves, I'll let them.
Thank you again for tuning in. I don't know if you have any last words, bro.
I want to thank you and your partner for having me, man. Thank you guys for allowing me to come on here and let you guys know what we got going on in the camp, man. And again, I want to shout out everybody in Hobbs, all the breeders, everybody around us, man. Shout out to all you guys, man. Continue to produce, man. Continue to just create fire, man. Create fire. I know everybody says that everything they got in their yards. Fire, and there's nothing wrong with thinking that way, but continue to keep the vision and continue to just produce, man. It takes a lot of work.
It's one breed, one love, and one movement. Y'all stay tuned for the next episode. Who do we got?